Okay. There you go. I'd like to call this special meeting of council to order this afternoon, August 11th, 2025. I will begin by doing a land acknowledgement this afternoon. As we gather here today, we acknowledge that we are on Treaty 6 territory and the homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place and reaffirm our relationship with one another. Okay, I will look for a motion. We have the agenda in front of us. Motion to adopt the agenda as presented, please. Councillor Sermacheski, Councillor McGuinness. Any further questions, additions, anything? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Does anybody have a conflict of interest on any of the items on the agenda this afternoon? Seeing none, we'll move on to new business. The first one is I have some notes here that I forgot to pull out. So the first one is recognition of Councillor Roger Nordick. He was scheduled to be in this afternoon, but I assume he hasn't been able to attend here. So I'm going to go through with my little speech and we'll get him in here for a photo a little bit later on in the week, if that's possible. He is moving away to Alberta, so I'd probably like to wrap this up before he goes. It would be nice. So Roger was elected in 2012 and has served on Humboldt City Council for 3 4-year terms. Roger was instrumental in a number of things in the city. He was very because of his firefighting background, he was very concerned or put a lot of thought into the things that our fire department was involved in as a councillor. So also with works and utilities over the years, he wasn't afraid to ask some of the hard questions of staff and that over the years. So appreciate him for what he did there. And also with residents, he brought up a number of concerns, especially in the area that he lived in, the Wateridge Crescent area over the years. So he was a true advocate for the residents in those situations. So thank you, Roger, for doing that. I'd also like to mention Roger and his wife Sheila were very involved in Communities in Bloom over the years. They were judges and they traveled across the country, including, and were very involved in our community here with our Communities in Bloom program over the years. And then the next thing was the Hugs Garden, which kind of evolved from Communities in Bloom. And Roger and I were at the FCM conference and this was just shortly after the Bronco bus crash, and we got together with a number of people with Communities in Bloom, and then after that, Alberta Landscape and Saskatchewan Landscape. So Roger was very instrumental in getting that project off the ground, and him and Sheila donated hundreds of hours towards that project to see it through. All the volunteer. So I would like to thank him for that as well. So it was a pleasure working with him. I wish he would be here to hear this, but I'll point him towards the YouTube video. Hopefully he can hear these words. So he was always instrumental and very good to have around the table, never afraid to ask a question. And I'd like to add, he was the luckiest councillor at the SUMA conference for entering door prize draws. I think he probably had a whole room full of stuff that he won over the years. So it was we always laughed at how much stuff he would win. So he was a very lucky person in that respect. So thanks again, Roger. We appreciate all that you've done for the city of Humboldt over the years. Thank you. And I will get him this plaque when he has a chance to come this week. So thank you, Roger. Okay, we'll just keep moving on here. So we have 4.2 is a recommendation from the city controller on temporary road closure. So I will look for a mover and a seconder. That the requested temporary road closure for a special event on August 22nd to 24th, 2025 be approved. And this is 6th Avenue from east of the back alley to 9th Street. And this is for the Street Fest celebrations this August. So mover and a seconder, please. Councillor Scott, Councillor Cordy. Okay, is there a report that we need to go through? Sure, quickly if you want.
Yep. So at the April council meeting, council approved the street closure of Main Street. There's a few portions of the alley, or sorry, the avenues that are adjacent to that. The current location approved is within the report. The Downtown Business Improvement District is holding that Street Fest event. They've just requested to include a bit more of 6th Avenue. There's some businesses located along that stretch that would just like the closure to extend into the front of their businesses. There was some concerns around the creating of some dead ends down those alleyways. However, just as the businesses kind of use that to conduct a lot of their businesses and use it for their staff accesses and stuff like that. The closure is mainly on the weekend, so we're hopeful that doesn't disrupt service too much there. The map included does highlight a portion of the additional as well. And if there's any questions, I can take those as well.
Okay, any questions for the city control? No. Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder to proceed with this. So I will call the question. All in favor? That is carried. Right. Okay, so we're on to 4.3, recommendations by the city controller for another temporary road closure for a community event. So I will look for a mover and a seconder that the requested temporary parking lane closure for a special event on August 14th, 2025 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. inclusive be approved. And this is Main Street from 506 Main Street to 510 Main Street on the east side of the road. So we have a mover and a seconder, please. Councillor McGinnis, seconder. Councillor Rowe, did you want to give us a little bit background on this one as well?
Yep. So there's 3 businesses along that section of roadway that are hoping to have a customer appreciation event on August 14th here later this week. They're just asking for some parking lanes to be closed in front of a couple of those locations just to be able to have a little bit of event along the roadway there. The city's policy doesn't state anything on parking lanes, but just administration felt it was probably best to just kind of handle it in the same manner as street closures. So we've proceeded with the request here to council today. And there's no concerns by administration on this at all.
Councillor Sermacheski.
So I'm not concerned about the street closure at all. But I'm concerned about the date of the customer appreciation. The Humboldt Stingrays Water Polo Club has actually booked a fundraiser barbecue at the museum that same particular day. So will the customer appreciation involve free food, which would then take away from the fundraising efforts of the polo club? Because that's what I have the issues with.
Did we get it?
I don't have any of the specifics on what they're planning to do with that location. I don't know if you have any. The request came. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have any of the details on what they're planning to do in that location.
Okay. I'm assuming if it's from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., it may involve something over lunch. Is there a way we can put them in touch with the other group to see if they can work something out there? I don't know if they're, I don't know.
Well, the museum would have, they've already got the entertainment set up.
Yeah.
The food would already have been purchased. The volunteers would have been set up, and they have had this booked since, I can't remember when, months.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's really fair to the water polo group.
No.
So I would like to see the date of the customer appreciation be changed.
Okay. I don't know if they've advertised it or not already. I haven't seen anything, but I don't know. Oh, what we do. Any suggestions? It's Ewan's water meat and Humboldt Market, so.
Mr. Mayor, as much as there is already an event going on in the downtown, again, there's nothing to say that these won't be complimentary type of things that bring more people to the downtown, as opposed to looking at it as competing over a limited number of dollars. You've got businesses that are trying to bring more people into the downtown. I'm not sure that there's really an issue, or whether, again, it's again, had there been more advance notice, this is something that certainly could have been brought up. But obviously, this is part of a special council meeting, because this event is being held in 3 days. And I'm guessing that right, August 14th is just a few days off. So again, by not approving this, you may be, again, undermining their efforts to do something in the downtown, again, as opposed to competing with a fundraiser that some other group is doing. So I don't know. I'm just saying, is it really your business to get between two events that want to happen within 2 blocks of each other? Or is it just a matter of, if it doesn't impact the roadway, does council, look at all those other aspects? Or is it just, roadway wise and activity wise, is that what you're limited to concerning yourselves with? But okay, I'll leave that with you.
Okay. Any further discussion on this? Go ahead.
What's the history on this request, Mr. Day? Was it, when did we receive this request, and when did they set up this? I'm sorry, I'm speaking not of the water polo club, but of this customer appreciation event.
I believe the request came in late last week. Can't recall if it was Wednesday or Thursday last week, but it was just under the wire to get it on the agenda either way.
Okay. Anyone else? I guess.
Well,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think at a minimum, somebody should reach out to those businesses and just make sure they're aware, because maybe they aren't aware, right? And maybe they can alter their plans. Like I mean, I don't see anything advertised on Facebook, but the 2 business like Modern Meat, he might be giving out samples, but I don't think he would have a full burger. And same with Humboldt Marketplace, like they're just wanting to get people into their place there. I mean, she does have some food, some bakery type items and stuff there, as far as I know.
Yeah.
But you would think if they were going to have a full-fledged barbecue in competition with them, I would be able to find information on Facebook about it. And I did a quick look here and I don't see anything. So I'm thinking it's probably not an issue, but they should be made aware and just ask them, please don't, take advantage of the customers that are coming in for that barbecue, but don't take away from the fundraiser if you can, I guess.
Yep. So I'm assuming we have a contact person that we could reach out to.
Yeah, so the request did actually come in through a third party, so there might be some things in place with scheduling some things. It just might be awaiting council's decision before making any type of announcements, but we can definitely get in touch with them and see if an alternate date is possible. But we wouldn't be able to do that ahead of council's decision tonight.
So we would then prove this, and then with a caveat that they try to work with the existing function or look for an alternative fee, I guess, or I don't know. Am I hearing that? Go ahead, Councillor Scott.
I would think that the most that we should be doing is simply informing them, because I think it's fair to these businesses that are taking this initiative, like it's something different.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should be undermining what their choices are there.
Exactly.
And when they know what's happening, then they can make
That'll be their decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they feel that they're stepping on someone, and again, that may look bad on their part as well. So if they're, competing, hopefully they can adjust it and decide that, I guess. So, yep. Okay. So part of this, then, can we just have staff reach out to them if this is approved, and then we can go that route. So they're aware that it's happening. Often I've found over the years that people don't check the calendars when they're picking dates for things, and you end up with, 2 events or 3 events at the same time. So, okay, so we have a mover and a seconder recorded, right? Okay. One question, all in opposed? We have 1 opposed. Thank you. Okay. So the next one is the recommendation from the municipal engineer, Peck Road Gravel Roadway Project Award. So I will look for a mover and a seconder that the Peck Road Gravel Roadway Project be awarded to Ruskowski Enterprises Incorporated in the value of $135,175 plus applicable taxes. So over in a second, Councilor Cordy, Councilor Sermacheski. Did Dan, do you have something that you wanted to lead us through on this, or we have had a report ahead of time?
I'll just highlight that there was 3 quotes received.
Okay.
From Ruskowski Enterprises Inc., First Construction, and Brockman Enterprises Limited. And the prices range from $135,000 to $150,000. And just in the conclusion, Ruskowski is the contractor doing our road reconstruction and paving program this year. So I'm familiar with the work they're doing, and they've been doing good work.
Okay. Questions or comments? Go ahead, Councilor McGinnis.
Are they local or are they from away?
They're based out of Prince Albert. They do get aggregate from Brockman Enterprises.
I guess my only comment would be, and I think Joe and Jace are probably familiar with my tirade on this, is that I would love to see a local component as part of our RFP process, like a prioritization that still falls within the legislative requirements to prioritize local. I know we do a pretty good job of that, so I don't want to kind of downplay, how much we do prioritize local, but just seeing that the other 2 bidders were pretty close, like well within 10% and local, I guess. Yeah. So that's just my soapbox.
Yeah, and I also consider that for $2,000. We have a local company bidding as well within 2,000. So I don't know, maybe the city manager could help us out on that, and the benefits or the challenges of doing something like this. I know we have talked about this plenty over the years about trying to support local and go from there. So.
Sure. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. And the news, of course, across Canada is the provinces trying to work for better trade with each other. And the model that's being held out as the example for the other provinces to follow is the new West Partnership Trade Agreement. That's an agreement signed with BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan. I think Manitoba is looking to sign on now. But what it does is it actually binds municipalities, school divisions, some of the other governmental entities, as well as the provinces, to basically open competition for contracts and awards such as this, so that there isn't the buy only from your province. It's buy from whichever vendor in any of the provinces can supply the product most effectively. And so those at the provincial level and down to the municipal level, we are bound by it. To the Councillor McInnes's comments, we have had conversations in the past with the chamber about how we can include things like serviceability. If we're buying a tangible product, a vehicle or a piece of equipment, if there's a local vendor that can provide servicing to us and we can grow some allegiance to, there is some value in that. When it comes to things such as just a supply of an aggregate, or in this case, a project that's being done, we certainly hope there's no follow-up maintenance that's required after it's handed off to us. So it really comes down to who can get the job done, who do we have confidence to get the job done and can do it at the lowest quoted price. because if we don't award it to that, based on that criteria, we can get ourselves into some legal trouble. So we do strictly follow the New West Partnership Trade Agreement in these examples. And we do try to introduce some of those service components where we can do that as well. But in this case, I would suggest that we really don't have much wiggle room without getting ourselves into some jeopardy here.
Okay. Go ahead, Councilor Hughes.
I guess, I understand that, Mr. City Manager, and thank you for that explanation. But when I was talking with Sask Builds about this, they seem to have, like in their minds, there was a way that we could prioritize our local companies, even with things like this, where it's a project rather than a product with servicing. And I wish I still had my notes, but I was very much under the impression that Sask Builds made it quite clear that we could still follow the legislative requirements and legal requirements and still have something in our process that made being local a priority component. So I'll search for my notes, and I'm happy to reach out to Sask Builds again as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe that's something we could ask our administration with, look, at least doing the research on, and then we can look if it's something we want to put into our tendering policy, I guess, at some point. Yeah, I suppose that would probably be an option. So, but at this point, I think in lieu of having this project not proceed in the next foreseeable future, I think they're probably raring to get shovels in the ground and getting this done in this season. So okay, that was some good discussion though, and I know this is something that's come up year after year about we've got taxpayers in the community, and how can we look at maybe helping them out where we can. So okay, we got to move her in a seconder. So I will call the question. All in opposed, that is carried. Thank you. Okay. And I think that brings us to the end of our agenda for this special meeting. So I will ask for a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Jorgensen, seconder, please. Councillor Scott, all in favor? We stand adjourned. Thank you. We will be taking a break from our stream here, and we will go in.